Do non-believing Jews believe in the same God as believers?
In my perspective, the primary issue in that question is to define believe. Do
Should we say? Let me change the question then. Hang on. I agree with you. Do non-believing Jews worship the same God as Christians?
Well, let me play the same card.
Okay.
I think you would have to define the word worship. Here's the point. If you have opportunity, which some of us have had, and I've had numerous opportunities, I thank the Lord for this, where I've actually sat down or stood and talked with a observant, Orthodox Jewish person who's very intent upon his religion. If you sit and talk with them and say, on what basis is God going to give you his mercy and grace? In other words, I remember one conversation, and I'll try to be brief here. I said, let's start back with the covenant that God made with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. That covenant that he made included not only blessings, but cursings. So God is faithful to the people of the offspring of Jacob, to the people of Jacob or Israel. He is faithful to them when he is giving his blessing, but also when he is distributing the curses. So on what basis, I asked this person, on what basis are you saying that you will be enabled to receive his blessing and not his cursing? And his answer was, in brief, very clear, that if I keep the mitzvot, if I keep the commandments, if I, regularly keep the festivals, if I eat kosher, if I go to synagogue, and so forth and so on. I said, okay. So that means you believe that you have eternal blessing from God by what you're doing correctly. And he said, yes, absolutely. And he also said, because I'm Jewish. There is something that God has chosen the Jewish people without choosing other people, and in those being chosen, he has given us an advantage. And he didn't use that term, but basically he said, if you're Jewish or if you convert to Judaism, then you're one of his covenant people. I said, oh. I said, well, then how come he exiled Israel out of the land into Babylon or into Assyria, wherever? And he said, well, because we were disobedient. I said, okay, how do you judge disobedience? And there becomes the issue, okay? Now, if we, as we do, hold to the scriptures, what do we do with verses like John 15:23 through 25? This is Yeshua speaking. He who hates me hates my Father also. Now, what does it mean to hate? I don't think it means here that you have your fist in the air and you're, putting your fist in the face of God. No. Hate and love in the scriptures can at times, and very clearly at times, be related to a covenant connection, a covenant reality. When it says, Jacob I have loved and Esau I have hated, it means I've made a covenant with Jacob and I have not made that same covenant with Esau. So when it says, he who hates me hates my Father also, it means, I take it to understand it this way. He who has received me as the covenant maker and therefore is willing to entrust himself to my faithfulness. He who receives me receives the one who sent me. But he who does not receive me, he who rejects me, rejects the Father also. If you read Isaiah chapter 1, what does God say to Israel in Isaiah 1 through the prophet? He says, and I'm paraphrasing, stop bringing your stinking sacrifices. They're a stench in my nostrils. Wait a minute. Didn't God command Israel to bring sacrifices? Yes. But what is he saying there in the first chapter of Isaiah and in many of the places in the prophets, in Isaiah and Jeremiah, Ezekiel, and so forth, and even in the 12 prophets? He's saying, if you're going to go down to this pagan temple and give some kind of worship to a pagan god who is really a demon, and then you want to come and worship me, the answer is no. You will be rejected by me. you will receive the curses of the covenant, which means you will be cut off from the covenant. What does it mean to be cut off? I wish somebody would write a book on that. To be cut off from the covenant means no longer to have a connection with the God of Israel as a covenant member. When Yeshua says, he who hates me hates my Father also, he said, if I had not done among them the works which no one else did, they would not have sinned. But now they have both seen and hated me and my Father as well. But they have done this to fulfill the word that is written in the Torah. They hated me without a cause. This is John 15:23 through 25. Do we believe those are the words of Yeshua? Yes. So let me get back to the main question. Do religious Jews believe in the one God who is the creator, in terms of saying, we worship this one God and no other God? Yes. But do they have a belief that is true in terms of owning who God is and what he has said about sending his son, Yeshua? He who believes in the Son has life. He who does not believe in the Son of God does not have life, but the wrath of God continues upon them.
Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button and check out more videos from Messiah Matters.